Hi, this is Mohammed Azhar Iqbal. I'm a student at University of Hertfordshire regarding LLM Intellectual Property and Information Law. My student ID is T20973887. We're going to discuss the topic about the put some reflection and analysis thoughts on Gen AI output. I have gathered some notes and I have set some information upon research. So let me give you a general analysis report. Uh, so when we're discussing AI responses in intellectual property law, we must emphasize the structured approach to verification across multiple legal frameworks. One of the great example is SAS Institute Inc. versus World Programming Ltd 2013, which examined software copyright protection in numerous jurisdictions. The varying interpretation of TRIPS agreement among legal systems, how international treaties affects IP law research. Technology has changed the IP frameworks as the Supreme Court applies a fair use theory of software interface in Google LLC versus Oracle America Inc. 2021. There are limitation response in AI. So current legal artificial intelligence limits on IP law concerns exhibits many IP law challenges. For example, Infopac International A slash versus Danske Dagblades Forning 2009, where the court struggled to define a digital material originally, illustrates the lack of a precise framework of IP law accuracy, the lack of references to the fundamental IP nations in the new technology is troubling. Football Data Co Ltd versus Yahoo UK Ltd shows the difficulties of resolving jurisdictional IP protection differences, specifically database rights and their cross-border application. There definitely has been some biases and bias identifications. So examining of IP law interpretation bias encourages us to address minute language, complete minute language disparities in conveying stakeholder interests. The Designer Guild Ltd versus Russell Williams case shows how judge weigh creative industry needs. Recent AI authorship conflicts shows that the framework must accommodate several corporate and personal producers' perspectives. Regional legal interpretation are evident in verdicts like Alice Corp versus CLC Bank International, which changed software patent eligibility criteria completely. So we also found methodological strengths, and three of them are the benefits to handling intellectual property law complexity with our rigorous approach. Methodical prejudice detection will assist us understand how stakeholder interests affect IP law interpretation. The Technograph Printed Circuits Ltd versus Mills and Rockley, which introduced patent evaluation concepts, illustrates this. And the landmark Luca Films Ltd versus Ainsworth's 2011, which addresses the global IP jurisdiction and enforcement. The approach showed the tolerant for many varied IP protection regimes across legal system. There definitely have been a knowledge gap of recognitions. The framework emphasizes IP law complexity between countries, especially with the digital single market mandate. Unwired Planet versus Hawaii 2020, UK Supreme Court 37, which reviewed standard essential patent and friend licensing, shows how technology affects IP law enforcement as evident in a WIPO's proposed artificial intelligence and intellectual property policy. Debates the framework recognizes many stakeholder perspectives. Recent blockchain NFT advancement emphasizes the necessity to balance morality and finances. And there has been definitely a depth analysis regarding the knowledge gap recognition. Our research focused on DBUS, a device for autonomous bootstrapping of unified sciences, patent filing in various countries, and how new technologies affects IP protection regimes. The European Commission's Artificial Intelligence Challenges to the Intellectual Property System reports examines these new concerns thoughtfully. Warner Lambert Company LC versus Generic UK Ltd 2018 UKSC 56 examined second medicinal use patents, and public health. The study examines their implications on several stakeholder groups. There are alternative perspective approach, just like this just said, focus areas. So there has been a case law, Tune Inc versus Warner Music Ltd UK 2021, EWCAC IV 441 addresses online radio streaming rights and digital copyrights, fair use in modern content creation. Regeneron Pharmaceutical Inc versus Kemab Ltd 2020, UKSC 27 examines research incentives and patent protection in biotechnology patents cases. In VRide Corp versus Conhan 2019, trade secrets protection against open source development generates intriguing paradox, especially in autonomous car technology ban conflicts. We have definitely alternative approach, and this there is a case law, Pharmaceutical Inc versus Novartis AG 21 EWHC 29 PAD addressing public interest in patent law, shows the framework consider all the stakeholders' perspective. Software patentability techniques vary by country, as shown EPOS G1/19 pedestrian simulation judgment, ZTE and Hawaii versus Conversant Wireless 2019 EWCA CIV 38 addresses market player conflicts by examining global friend licensing. We definitely have key findings and limitations. Let's talk about them. We found IP law knowledge gaps, strengths, development opportunities, Illumini versus MGI 21, EWHC 21 57 addresses DNA sequencing technology patent by meticulously examining difficult IP issues. Nintendo Co. Ltd versus Big Bang Interactive GmbH 2018 illustrates that cross-border IP enforcement requires more particular examples of practical application, even though many IP protection factors are clear. We recommended more extensive IP problem analysis, especially in cases involving innovative technologies like Sky versus Skykick 2020 EWHC 990. International approaches should highlight recent advances in key nations, as shown by Siswell versus Hire 2020 FRAN license ruling. AI, blockchain, IoT effects on IP law should be debated as proven by NWS patent application discussions. We have an analytical approach to the implementations. The implementations address must address the practical issues raised in Nintendo Co. Ltd versus Big Man Interactive on EU territorial scope of intellectual property rights. Recent cases like Optica Cellular Technology Ltd versus Apple Retail UK Limited 2021 emphasizes the importance of commercial reality in IP enforcement. Thaler versus Comptroller General of Patents 2021 EWCA CIV 1374 on artificial intelligence inventorship shows the framework must adapt to the new technologies while protecting intellectual property rights. We have future developments and adaptation. Let's talk about them. The new technical difficulties should inform IP law modifications. The UK Supreme Court's 2020 decision in Unwired Planet versus Hawaii will shape international IP licensing conflicts. IPCOM versus Vodafone 2021 shows the need of flexible standard essential patent enforcement. Atrine versus Sami Shokri 2022 shows how copyright must change to fit current creative processes and digital distribution. Uh, the dawn of new generative AI ushers in a new era of creativity and efficiency where machines and humans must collaborate to push the boundaries of innovation. As we navigate this exciting landscape, let us embrace the potentials of this technology while remaining mindful of its limitations and ethical implementation. Without the human, technology is nothing, but without the technology, human cannot, you know. take steps towards the broader vision of its humanity. Thank you so much.